Hey, everybody. Welcome back
Hey
to the
guys.
Speak Out Loud channel. And we are coming to you really the third part of three kind of short 10-minute videos, which we have just put out this week and are wanting to share, particularly about the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder, something that Stacey has wrestled with, that we as a couple, as a family, have lived with for many, many years. And the mission of Speak Out Loud. So if this is the first time you're finding us, or maybe you've listened to some videos we've put out before, we just want you to know the mission of Speak Out Loud is to, out of our experience, to share hope, to share encouragement, and to let you know you're not alone and that you're not alone in
Right.
your mental illness journey. So
Mm.
we are talking about some of these things that aren't always easy to talk about, I know, Stakes, because they're real, and we know many of you face those. And one of the things that's really motivating us to talk about borderline, particularly
Mhm.
right now, is that we've put out some content before on this on the Speak Out Loud podcast. We have had a full length hour long episode, which is titled Brain on Fire, which dives deep on this diagnosis and the reality, Stacey, for you particularly, of living with borderline. It is such a powerful episode, maybe the most powerful episode we've done of our podcast to date over several years now. And we've heard so much feedback of borderline there's not much out there that feels hopeful, and that there was some hope in that. And so we invite you to listen to that. We hope today you also feel some of that hope. And I know, Stacey, there's a lot of hope in your story, and you do great at sharing that. So what we want to talk about today, particularly with borderline, is some of the challenges that I think someone that struggles faces in communication, especially a lot of our modern tools of communication, whether it be texting or social media or emailing. So, Stacey, just what is that? How is that hard for you? What challenges does that present? And how do you wrestle through that? Because it's such a part of life.
It's hard. I'll be honest with you. And if you have borderline personality disorder, you get this and it tempts you because of how hard communication can be to not talk, not be relational. I'm a speaker and I sometimes just want to go, I don't know, words are too hard. Words are so many. But I want to talk with you specifically about social media and borderline and also texting and things like that. So with social media, I almost always need someone to look at it with me if possible and just say, this is really what this meant. This is way, how did your brain see it, Stacey? What did you read there? And so some of my counseling appointments, I'll have a list of texts that I don't understand and that I could miss, I could answer wrong. And the person on the other end hopefully would be gracious with me. But at the same time, there's just so much pressure with texting, emailing, and how you can perceive different things on social media that it can be overwhelming. I know that for me, and yet it's a way of life. I can't stay off social media or not text people or not call them and not be able to see their body language or anything like that. So I practice all the time, not just by myself. When I'm texting my friends and stuff, I can sometimes tell by their response that what I meant was not translated by them the way I meant it. And I think that can happen even if you don't struggle with borderline,
Sure.
but it's even amplified when you have borderline. So,
I think every text
mhm,
um, carries such weight.
yeah.
I think we get just in the usage of texting where it's just we're firing off text, we're saying things, and this happens. There's no wrong intent in it. But I think for someone that struggles with borderline, is like every word, every phrase, every message is being parsed and being interpreted to say, was there something behind that? And just because I think the way a lot of people that struggle with borderline, I know for Stacey, for you, your brain's kind of been wired to growing up that there was always subtext to something. There was always a hidden message.
What's the game?
There was always a game an emotional game being played that it just makes it hard for your brain not to start kind of filtering messages and things through that same
Mhm.
context.
That's so true. And one of the reasons why people can sometimes be diagnosed with borderline is because of trauma. Well, trauma can be, get better. It can be something that you don't experience as heavily as you did at the beginning, maybe of getting help, or just the older you get in life, or the more removed you are from the person who caused the trauma in your life. But really, it's a trauma based illness. And our minds can only handle so much of that. But before it begins to just really start in many areas of my life, try to dominate everything that I do. So communication can be exhausting for me, yet I don't want to not.
Yeah.
It's just it can be very messy. So anyway, I want to add that emojis, the little emojis, the pictures, all the things can really make me go, does that mean they're mad, or is an exclamation point mean that they're upset, or is that a happy one? So it can just feel like a total train wreck in my mind. And sometimes the people who I'm texting with or emailing with will think, oh, I didn't even think any more about that. I've moved on. That was a day ago, or that was 30 minutes ago. Why are we
Yeah.
still in that part of the conversation?
Or I think one of the most difficult things, Stacey, can be the unreturned message, like knowing where a conversation should just naturally stop. And I think a lot of times, you just don't return a text, or you get 10 texts in a day, and then it scrolls down. That one maybe you just forget to respond to, or you don't follow up because it falls off kind of your top of your list. But I think in your mind, there's so much the vacuum that's created by, oh, what could that mean they did not respond? The mind that struggles with borderline personality disorder can fill that empty space with so much stuff that your brain begins to loop on that, and it really can become fearful. It can become an exhausting space, really.
Yeah, and I've even told Doug, my sister, my friends, I've even said to them, I would rather you yell at me, and I'm not kidding, than be silent, because my mind goes crazy. At least if I know you're communicating with me, we're at least having some type of dialogue. No, I don't like to be yelled at. Of course not. But when it comes to the silence and everything, and it could be that you've gone to pick up your kids. It could be that you've run into the grocery store and forgot your phone. I understand that. I do that with my phone. I'll misplace it, or I will get off and start doing other things, exercising or cooking or something like that. The cooking part probably not happening. Still, it's just life moves on and my brain stays stuck back at point A, and you might be at R and going, why are we bringing this back up? What happened? What did your mind tell you? And sometimes it just ends in that conversation stopping because they are like, I can't go there. I
Yeah.
can't do this. And I'm not trying to play a game or anything like that. I'm just trying to not worry incessantly about it. I want to be able to move on as well. But that takes more for me than it does for my friends who do not have borderline. I don't have any friends with borderline personality disorder. So we're just trying to walk it out and figure it out, and me not stop communicating, honestly.
Well, Stacey, what are a couple things you would say in living with that and dealing with just, yeah, these are modern ways or ways we all communicate. What are some things that have been helpful for you?
The days of me pretending that I don't have borderline anxiety, deep depression that is difficult to manage in itself, anorexia and self-harm are over. I can't pretend that I have these things and anymore. I mean, and also I feel like on the other side of it, I can be a good friend. I kind of bend over
Oh, that's
backwards
very
to
true. I
be a
mean,
good friend. So it's not all bad.
and we want to portray that.
Yeah.
It's interesting that for many people that struggle with borderline, relationships are extremely important. Stacey, you're the opposite in many respects of an introvert. I mean, you are very people oriented. Relationships are extremely important to you. You're very focused, and you're very focused on others and making sure, investing in them and caring about them. So I think that's
Try to
why
be.
those relationships fill you, they fuel you, but they also can be very difficult and very painful, which is this really difficult dichotomy, I know, but at the same time, the reality of what many people with borderline struggle with.
Okay, so 3 things that help me. 1, finish the conversation with me, and if you think on your end that there could be any confusion, please don't make us be the ones who have to dive back into it by ourselves. Number 2, I would definitely say that you have to have patience. And number 3, I would definitely say that if you can get together with me for 15 minutes, it'll save 3 hours of texting because I
Yeah.
can see what's going on with you. I can see that you're not mad at me. I can get a quick hug and move on with my day beautifully. But also, please try not to close people with borderline out. I try to have more to offer than takes away. And sometimes that works better than others. But I really do love people and I don't want to hide and be scared that something bad's going to happen.
Well, and I think for those that if you love somebody, if you're a friend with somebody that has this struggle, patience is so important. But I think what you just said, Stacey, commitment to face time. That while we do enjoy the modern conveniences of many forms of quick communication, nothing can replace face to face, person to person time. And for those that struggle with body, it's probably healthy for all of us, regardless of what we struggle with our mental health, but particularly for those that struggle with borderline, that can be so important. And just know this that if you struggle, if you feel like everything is always on the edge, if the slightest misstep, the slightest missed text, anything could push you over the edge, that you're not alone, one, in feeling that way, but two, that that is not reality and that there is grace. And God has given us so much grace, Stacey, and you have given me grace. We've given each other so much grace, and grace is and grace and love are the oil that smooth over friendships, relationships, and are the lifeblood, really, of those that struggle with borderline. And so we want to
Yeah.
share that with you. You can experience that grace, and we've experienced it. And we just want to share that with you today. So, of
Yeah. Just one last thing. I'm sorry.
course, no, yeah,
Just don't give up on me. Don't
yeah,
give up on your friends who have mental illness. Just don't give up on them. It's extra work, but you can do it, and I can do it, and I'm practicing, and other people who have borderline, I'm sure, are practicing things. But we sometimes we just can't avoid what is very obvious, and that is our minds are different. So there shouldn't be any punishment in that. There should just be this ability to say, I don't get it. And I know you don't get what I'm trying to say, but I care about you and I'm not going to leave you. And we're going to continue to have conversations maybe about other things, but I'm here. I'm
yeah.
here. I'm not going in. And
Maybe that's the best balm that someone with borderline can hear, Stacey, is I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
it's going to be okay. It may not feel like it right now, but it's going to be okay. Those for me are like hot chocolate. When I can swallow it and I can just feel it go all the way down, I'm just like, thank you.
And we want you to know that it's going to be okay. You're not alone. And you have friends in this journey through mental health and mental illness. So until next time, God bless you guys. Stay resilient. Keep in the fight. And we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, you guys.